Hey, what is up, everyone? It's Rich. All right, welcome to the final of this David Finch Ascension commission that I did. Give you a quick overview of it, and then we're going to get into the nuts and bolts. This will be a little bit of an intro. So I set up tiers on my Patreon just so that you guys know. People have been asking me about that. There's a portfolio review where I'll take a look at your stuff and I can make a private video for you and give you a 15 to 20 minute, like really in depth critique of your work. And then there's also a 45 minute to 1 hour direct lesson with me where I can either go through your portfolio, do inking video for you. Really, the hour to 45 minutes to hour is yours to kind of use it however you want. I'm also give you a choice of 6 penciled pieces that you can work from if you want to ink one of those and have me critique that, or even split the time, meaning I could show you some techniques to use on it beforehand. You can ink the piece, and then I can review how you did it. So the options are really yours, how you want to use the time. But anyway, check that out and enjoy the video. We've got a few pieces of art to look at. All right, have a great day. Bye. Yeah, so I wrap this up. I'm going to grab the photocopy of the pencils, and we can kind of see the transition. Tools. I always forget tools. It's like mostly I used brush and Hunt 102. There's a little bit of Copic multiliner in here. Just they're great pens, and sometimes you need to use a pen. So overall, people had asked me about the kind of sweeping lines across the legs. It's really done with black ink. There's a little tiny bit of white that I throw in just to sort of I think at the end just to make it look like exactly how I want it. But yeah, most of it was just done with black ink, and I just kind of strategically leave little gaps and use that kind of sweeping motion with my hands. So anyway, so how I even saw that in the piece is, okay, so here's David's pencils. This was an unused cover for Ascension, or what it ended up being a variant cover for #1. Beautiful, beautiful drawing. It's really, really good. And you can kind of see there was some suggested background that maybe was going to go in. It would have been really amazing. But anyway, what he put down was amazing enough as it is. But the first time that I ever did this was, I think I had inked some Lanil U stuff, and Lanil would have little scratchy lines where he would fill in blacks, and kind of like here, and I think the normal way that you would translate that, like, you look at this, is you would just fill it in black, and it would look good. Be a real powerful piece. But it was a commission. This guy really wanted, me to do kind of what I want to do. We're just taking this in, okay? Like, do you see by his head, there's like a little bit of line suggestion in those blacks there. So, any of that is, to me, especially if you're not inking over the original pencils or inking for the penciler specifically, have some fun with it. So what I did is I left little gaps. Wherever I saw strokey stuff with David, I went like, well, could that work? You still have to be very mindful of the graphic read. So here, we'll pull back a little bit so we can see it. But you know what I mean? Like, you can't just throw lines down. And I'll show you a couple of danger zones on this. Danger zone, that's my thing. You got to watch the danger zone. So down here, okay, you've got the sweeping lines on his leg. Okay, if you look at the kind of tombstone or whatever that's the opposite side of his leg, and then that kind of leathery strap, and there's like a hook and whatnot. Okay, so those lines go the opposite way of each other. Do you see that? His leg, let me get a pointer. The lines here go this way, but these go this way. Okay, that's super risky. All right, if I didn't have the values good, it would look like shit, because you've got conflicting lines. Like, this doesn't make this sets you up for failure. But I'm a risk taker. So I went for it, and I was able to sort of like reap the reward on it. But I had to be really, really careful. It was something that I was very kind of anxious about before I did it, because I had worked on the piece for several hours, and it was like, all right, let's do or die. Let's go, Rich. Come on. That's how I talk to myself. I'm very encouraging. So, and like her leg, and there was a temptation. You can see right like between her legs. David had a little tiny bit of a suggestion of a line right there. I was really tempted to try to put that back into the piece. What I ultimately decided was it could be a really distracting shape, so I opted not to put it in. In theory, it could have worked. It's possible, but there's stuff behind her, so I went for more of a read where it's not going to stop your eye. That little shape could um, have been too noticeable. Maybe not. You know, it's something that I can always try in Photoshop later, just for my own curiosity's sake, and it could look cool. So you know, this is what we got. Really powerful piece, and you know, look, there was a temptation. Like, do you see where she's holding that dagger or whatever? Like the shadow on his thigh, the little bit of like loincloth coming off of his butt area. Um, you know, it's like what's going to be solid black, what's not. Those are the decisions that I make on top of that. So anyway, finish this up. The collector was really thrilled. It's been awesome. Like, I've been doing these commissions, and these people are excited about the pieces, and they go, you know, I knew you would do something killer, but man, I had no idea it was going to look this great. I've heard that every single time. It's really flattering because I already know that they think it's going to be badass. But if you can exceed their expectations like every time, it's pretty cool. So you know, I really work hard on them. Okay, and so here's the back row piece that I did for the. And here's the next piece. So this was a back row sketch that David did. I'm gonna go in here and look at this. Probably a con sketch on this. You know, again, the other wasn't an unpublished cover, so get an idea of what I started with. Nice piece, like a lot of potential. You see it. I kind of know not exactly what it's going to look like when it's done, but I mean, I see potential in this, and I go, yeah, like this will look cool. So this is what we got when it was done. We'll zoom in a sec. So it'll be good. You'll get an idea of what an inker does. And again, Hunt 102 brush. So when I ink David, I really do try to keep some of the anomalies that he puts in his stuff. Like he had a few kind of like, if you look at the cape, do you see those like few little sort of stickily lines that poke out? I like that. David just sort of threw a few in, and I was like, you know, I'm gonna keep that. I'm not gonna try to make them look all perfect. I'm gonna place them pretty close to where David did, within reason. When they go down in jet black, you still have to be mindful of I really look at it as value. So what I'm doing is, if I can defocus my eyes and it doesn't stand out, then I did it right. If you start throwing down stuff and it's creating like weird, kind of ugly areas, then it didn't work. So I mean, he just had a few little. You see those little things there? I put a couple more in, but I didn't worry about them being like all lined up. So in the cape, you know, he had like the sort of indication of shadow, or you know, like the cape kind of overlapping on itself to create like a little bit of depth. And then I did that kind of stylish shadow, and I really like how her pants turned out. I think it looks really cool. The boot looks good. And yeah, some really fun techniques. Okay, and then I'll show you the other piece that he got. He got a. Let me pause this for a second. He bought this Ed Bennis page. So he saw this on Comic Art Fans. I had been posting some of the David Finch commissions and said, "Hey, I'm looking for inking commissions over David Finch." I specifically asked for those because of they're really fun to do, and David's done a ton of pencil sketches at cons, so I know that they're out there, and it's you know, the result is usually pretty nice. So this was a piece that I had inked for a book that he picked up, and it's a nice one. Guy's got good taste for sure. So really, really epic, man. That's so nice. Like one of the greatest things about being an inker is working with such talented artists. Like you can take credit for the work that you do as an inker, but without these guys setting it up for awesomeness, it's like, great inks on average art will definitely elevate it, but great inks on great pencils really is like a magical combination. So anyway, I feel very, very fortunate to have worked with some of these really talented people. Okay, so that's the video. Thank you so much for coming by. People had asked about my Patreon. I'm setting up tiers, so if people want to get actual private instruction on inking, I am going to offer that. It'll be $40 for a 45-minute one-on-one with me, and I can either provide something for you to work on. I'll have 6 options you can choose from. You can ink that, or you could just show me your work, and we could sit down, either like through Skype, or I can even make a video for you, and I'll break down any technique you want. I think it'll be really cool. So, what's been happening is I hop back on Facebook immediately. You get people wanting critiques of their work, but it's like I don't have time to do it that way. I would be doing 100 critiques for people that I don't know, and it's like, come over to Patreon, get to know me. I post constantly. I interact with everyone there, and it's been really a great community. All right, have a great day. I love you all. I'll see you later. Bye.